Hey guys, welcome back. I'm the Dark One, and today in this week's gaming roundup, we've got a ton of good and bad industry news, such as Google Stadia aiming to steal your money, EA trying hard to follow Google's act in robbing PlayStation owners, Gears 5 attempting not to rob you, and Game Freak attempting to rob Pokemon fans of years of collecting and investment. All this and more in today's episode. This episode is a pretty long one, so there are timestamps below for you to jump to any particular story. If you came here just for Pokemon, skip to the part of the video, and let's DeFranco into it.
Hey, listen!
So starting off, Gears of War 5 is setting a new old standard that every other game dev should opt to follow.
Free ice creams and blowjobs with every purchase?
No. They decided to opt for no loot boxes, no season pass, and will make the DLC maps free, which, as I stated, is good news and sets an admirable standard that I think the industry on a whole should respect and try to emulate.
Yeah, good luck with that. If I'm not getting my rum and raisin ice cream with a side of lip, then you're definitely not getting your idealistic wishes from a billion-dollar industry that views us as just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Whatever. The only paid microtransactions in this game will be cosmetic non-RNG, which means no pay-to-win randomized loot boxes. Also, you can earn exclusive content in the all-new Tour of the Duty system, harkening back to the reality where games rewarded you for how well you play rather than how much you spend. According to Game Rant, we've committed to delivering more earnable content than ever before through an extensive new system called Tour of the Duty. You take on daily challenges and seasonal medals to rank up and earn customization content, including character skins. In addition, there's no premium pay-only content for Tour of Duty. Gears 5 will be coming to Xbox and PC on September 10th for the price of $60.
Quick question. Is Gears of War 5 not having microtransactions the good news? Oh, what a time to be alive.
Final Fantasy VIII was finally announced at E3 after being highly anticipated by gamers. Honestly, when I was a kid, I only had Final Fantasy 7 and 8, so to have both of those games returning around the same time feels like Christmas in July. Thank you, Santa.
Why would you want that testicle tickler to come around during summer? Do you enjoy being fondled by the sandy fingers of an old bearded white man?
What the heck? I am ignoring you, okay? Final Fantasy VIII, since it's a remastered and not a remake, will have the same story on like the 2020 version of FF7, which is going to be expanded on the established lore, making the stay in Midgar 40 hours long. However, FF8 will come with enhanced graphics for Squall and his friends, along with improved features that make his journey a bit more streamlined.
So way less grinding than the classic PlayStation 1 version.
Yup, according to Katase while he was being interviewed by Famitsu, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered will integrate the features of triple speed, which will make the game run at much faster pace, battle enhancements, which will keep all the characters' HP and ATB gauges at max, and limit breaks always available, and no random encounters for interrupted movement across maps and areas. I don't know how I feel about that. It sounds gonna be a little bit more, as I said, streamlined, but it could actually be a little easy too, probably. As far as I can remember, FF8 kind of scales. The monsters in the world kind of scales with your character's level, so I might be wrong. Since this is the 20th anniversary of the original game, the remastered is slated to be released this year to all current consoles, PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. So EA Access will launch on the 24th of July, and even though I am not a huge fan of EA in any capacity, in the slightest, especially after they cannibalized Dead Space, but because I'm willing to sell my soul for YouTube fame and fortune, I have to get into it.
I was trying to sell my soul, but apparently the devil would end up owing me money.
You? need Jesus.
Yeah, do you think he would buy it?
Okay, so EA Access is a streaming service which you can get access to a list of games for $5 a month or $30 per year. The most interesting games I saw available were Battlefield 5, Titanfall 2, and Unravel 2. The perks of getting this service is exclusively early trials and discounts on purchases such as games, DLCs, and season passes. In my opinion, the game industry moving towards streaming their titles is a slippery slope. Yeah, convenience is great, the argument being that you can download your game at any time, yet that is no longer true. And this is the reason I tend to opt for a physical copy most of the times for my consoles over digital. And if you think I'm being hyperbolic, then you clearly haven't been following the Telltale situation. The quick TLDR is, Telltale was not financially profitable anymore, and so inevitably they went belly up with massive layoffs. And as they started to liquidate their assets, which resulted in them also pulling games from Steam, like the incredibly successful The Walking Dead series, gamers kind of lost out. Now, I don't know if the game is still downloadable by Steam, but I'm pretty sure you can't download it now. So gamers essentially lost out entirely. Essentially, products as services guarantee nothing. Before, you had access to the game as long as the eternity of the website or whatever like service you use to download it. But now with the example of Telltale, if a company collapses, you may lose access to that game you already paid for. And I'm just not about that ish. I mean, if there's any company I know who would not think twice about shafting the consumer, it's EA. Following the beat of EA Access, Google Stadia is releasing this November.
Is Stadia some off-brand alternate sweetener?
No, it's essentially the Netflix of gaming. According to TechRadar, imagine a world in which you don't need expensive gaming equipment to play the next big release title. A world in which all you have to do to start gaming is open up your browser and select a game and start playing. No lengthy download required. This could soon become a reality if Google's cloud gaming service, Stadia, delivers on its promise. You'll be able to go from opening a Chrome tab to playing a 4K 60 FPS game in 5 seconds. No installation required.
So how does this magical MacGuffin power work, and how can I exploit it for world domination?
Well, essentially by using some Super Saiyan level of cloud computing, Google guarantees gamers higher graphical and CPU quality as long as they maintain a stable and fast connection while using the most up-to-date version of Chrome. According to TechRadar, playing a game on Stadia is as simple as opening up a new tab in Chrome and going to the service's stadia.com homepage, or even jumping from a YouTube video link about the game. So, after you get to the website, all your inputs on the computer are sent over to Google servers, processed in the game, and everything happens to get streamed right back to you. However, I think it must be noted that even though Stadia will run on Google's backend, it still needs the minimum requirements to run. I placed the minimum requirements in the description down below.
So no toasters allowed.
However, if you own a Google Pixel, you can have Stadia on your phone, which is super cool. There are approximately 30 games that will be available for Stadia at launch. For me, the most notable of which were Borderlands 3, Metro Exodus, Rage 2, and Wolfenstein The Youngblood. I have mixed opinions on this, like most things. I like the idea of having access to the games I would not normally have access to, but I also see this as a slow march to never owning an actual copy of a game again. Let me put on my tinfoil hat for a moment.
I swore it was literally glued to your head all the time.
Hardy har har. I believe this could be disastrous if Google actually eliminates physical discs entirely, while gaining a monopolistic advantage over the industries with its economies of scale. Personally, I think the future would be very bleak if every game becomes part of a digital product service, and then Google decides, due to their monopoly, that they can raise the price to exorbitant amounts since gamers won't have any alternate avenues. or eliminate the game entirely if they see fit. And trust me, they're gonna use some excuse that this is supposed to get rid of piracy, and you will never entirely get rid of piracy. So this is just gonna be a blatant excuse, but I will assure you that this will mitigate the damage that piracy does.
Let's pirate while we can!
I don't condone this. Okay, let's break this down in a TLDR format. Nintendo Direct reviewed Sword and Shield, the newest mainline entry to the Pokemon franchise, which is set in the UK. They showed off an awe-inspiring wild areas with the rotatable camera that actually got me excited, followed by the snooze-inducing feature of Dynamaxing, who gives a which creates bigger Pokemon. Yay! So this is fine, a new generation, new camera, and battle features any die-hard Poke Freak vet's dream. However, the backlash came when it was announced that not all of the Pokemon for the previous titles will be able to be transferred to the new game. So in essence, you won't be able to catch them all for the first time in 21 years. I mean, this is the slogan of the series, to catch them all. But to be fair, the main fact that Game Freak services fans for such a long time is an amazing testament in itself. And since they built up all this goodwill, people were willing to forgive them until they gave their expedition to Wrestle Y. They started off good by Masada saying that the excluded Pokemon would not be gone indefinitely. According to GameSpot, I would like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Shield, that doesn't mean it will not appear in future games. Okay, I understand. That sounds pretty reasonable. In previous games that worked with the Pokebank service, you were able to, for example, in Sun and Moon, bring over Pokemon even if they were in the Alola Pokedex. But with the transition to the Nintendo Switch hardware being much more powerful, allowing us to be much more expressive with each individual Pokemon. The fuck? Did he just say expressive? Expressive? Okay, you've lost me and half of the community. After a certain age, Pokemon was no longer for me. Granted, I know many of my friends feel the opposite way and enjoy every iteration to Pokemon Go to this day. And I say to each his own, enjoy the shit out of that game. I have no problem with that, but effing Sword and Shield apologists who think this game is expressive and acceptable are retarded. Okay. I mean, fuck it, you're retarded. No, Game Freak apologists agree with the press statement given, but many in the community have pointed out that the level and quality from the other mainline 3D Pokemon games, specifically Stadium, should not outmatch what was displayed by Sword and Shield at E3, and I agree with this wholeheartedly. This game released 21 years ago on a console 3 generations prior, and its animation is more dynamic than those demonstrated by Sword and Shield. In regards to the comparison of Sword and Shield to Pokemon Stadium, one Reddit user stated they also had only 151 Pokemon to animate, and the Stadium didn't have a story or world to explore. I'm all for calling out Game Freak, but at least come up with an argument that is substantial. Now, this is a weak argument by this Redditor, since Game Freak has ported animations straight from previous games into Sword and Shield. As Distant Kingdom, a YouTuber, pointed out in his video, Game Freak is lazy. Link down below. In essence, he showed an animation that was being reused frame by frame and just brought into the 3D realm. And to those who think that this is a daunting task to port all 807 plus Pokemon, one novice animation student was able to create a better Wingull animation in less than 24 hours. I am honestly of the opinion that Game Freak has reached the point of seeing the Pokemon IP as nothing more than a money printing franchise. It's a cash cow. It means it technically is that now to them. But it was way clearer as you compare Stadium to Sword and Shield that the love and care once placed into the series is now gone. the fandom of Pokemon is being taken advantage of. And that's where I'm gonna end the video, because there's nothing more else that I can say. Yeah guys, you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and don't ever forget to ring that bell to burn Kane's Landing to the ground. And I will see you guys next time.